Shalom Aleichem, everybody, and good evening once again, and welcome back to the wonderful Hilchos Tefillah Shir, the Tefillah Awareness Shir, which we try to broadcast this every single week, 2 times a week. In Baruch Hashem, the first part of the week, we focus on the Shulchan Aruch and also the Tefillah of Meaning. Tonight we focus on Achas Yosher and the story of Pesach Kron. We have an email address that if you want, you can send feedback from this year, and also what kind of lessons can you learn, what kind of Kabbalah can you make in order to make yourself, your davening, so meaningful and so special. The email address is tefillahshir@gmail.com. That is TEFILLAHSHUIR@gmail.com. Once again, Tefillah Shir, TEFILLAHSHUIR@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, and please spread the word around. It'll be also nice if I'll start reading emails once in a while from people who have made a change in their lives of davening. It'll be nice to hear from the Olam out there. Hopefully, Mitchell, one day we're going to also work on expanding this year to the kids down the road as well, gearing for grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, training boys how to daven in shul, something which is not so much taught in yeshivas, although from what I've heard there is someone that's actually working on something, but in the interim, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard anyone telling me that they're learning in yeshiva how to daven with a minyan, how they had to behave in a minyan. So something which hopefully we'll discuss at a later time. After all, we are the role models as mechanchim and as parents as well. Okay, we're gonna work on tonight Achas Yosher up to Chazva Poskim, which is the great loss when one is late for davening. So Chazva Poskim and the Poskim write Shikar Tefillah Tzibur will haschel miyad. Now, when the main way of davening with the minyan is to begin Shemasa together right away with the tzibur. Kishat tzibur maschila, when the tzibur starts. Those will begin later. Milvad mash mafsidin iket tzibur. It's time for a lost opportunity to fulfill the main element of davening the tzibur. Gam oivin kama yisurim. They're also violating many rules. She also lascha shema esrei and lo yaspik lagia l'kedusha and moedim mekadosh. It's also the start shema esrei if one will not be able to join the tzibur for kedusha, moedim mekadosh. But oid harbe dinim hamaloi b'shulchan aruch. There are many other laws mentioned in the Shulchan Aruch. Shemi she'ein sham aliba v'adei over aleim. That will be transgressed by one who does not pay proper attention to them. Vinei kvar ksav ha'Gra. And the Gra writes over here, Shkal seder hatfila banoi al seder olamas al yonim. That our davening is built in order for the celestial worlds, the upper worlds. V'chas v'sholom l'dag davar echad ma'atfila. One should never Chaz v'sholom skip any part of the davening. V'lo yitiru l'darik b'sikav zimah el b'shvil tefillas tzibur. And the Chachamim did not allow the omission, meaning in other words taking out parts of b'sikav zimah, which is of course a verse of praise that go before Baruch Hu. Yeah, b'shvil tefillas tzibur, except for davening shemasa with the tzibur. Because the poskim, even in going to that, the poskim write in Shabura Siman Nun Beis Sif Aleph. Yeah, That person must make an effort to come on time. Yeah, rak b'mkoim hevrech yaser kain. So that a mission should not be necessary. Chayv lahashlim yad achat tefillah kol ma shehechsem. And it's also a chiv to be mashlim, in order to come back and finish off davening what you missed out. According to what's written within the Shulchan Aruch. Why? Ab chilila linen kemikvius. However, so that was a chalila. It says here linen kemikvius. V'chalav shom. It's an annoying. It's going to become a kvius. But it's a gomer to make it much to have Davin Joseph wrote. But Chaz Shalom is someone should do it so regularly every single day. In other words, it's forbidden. In other words, there are many people. It is such a common phenomena, as we had discussed in the previous Shuir, of people coming late to Shachris, a crying latecomer who's coming late to Minyan. What Chaim Kanievsky is talking about is, if a person Chaz Shalom has to be late for Minyan, walks in late because he had an illness, he overslept, and most of the time, 99% of the time, or 95% of the time, he makes it to shul on time. And once in a while, it comes late. So Chaim Kanievsky says, just catch up to the minyan, and you'll make it afterwards. But Chaz Shalom, to make it a habit of coming to shul late, is Aser Gomer. Also, regard to the Bechel Shach in the morning, it is mandatory to say before davening, Ki achat tefillah yesh brachos, she efshal amal kvar. Why? Because after Shema says some brachos may no longer be recited. Chabichas loim hi adam hoyo maron chazan ish nezem oy lamad chizas shrivus shem. The bracha of always let a person be finding kabbanis was something that our master the Chazan Ish was very scrupulous about saying and concluding with Hashem's name. It's actually done, by the way, in Nizach Ashkenaz. Nizach Sfard does not have this minhag. This also obligation stated that by a Poskin and Parshas HaTomed, the portion that describes the Korban Tomed, the Mimibar, as well. All parts, all prayer that is said as also a chiv as well. And also look at the Mishnah, and the Mishnah Berurah also Mishnah Berurah maintains that one should say careful with concentration, bekavana, be'ima, be'ira, all interpretation. Ki kol tzava shemayim sheshem Kadosh Baruch Hu amen al pamal shemala. For this, his tefillah and all the celestial allegiance here, and Hashem stands with us heavily through pamal shemala. V'chol oinem v'oimem asher yom shekach aloi, and they will answer praiseworthy the people whom this is so. Akashanei. But loy kumosh mezalzam ba'olenu. A person should not be like those who devalue the lane of davening. And I'll explain that when I finish this part here. V'gam kol hapsukim shomem b'shol b'shas hatzos sevatoy v'achlasa v'geboso. Also, in addition, all the psukim as we say when taking out and praying, lifting the Sefer Torah. Yesh lo yisod b'shas haposkim. Have basis in Gemara and logic sources. Chaz Shalom mezalzam hazeh. Now, let's go back and discuss this for a minute or two. And I think it's enough that we should maybe stop over here and just delve into this for 2 to 3 minutes instead of going to the next part. We'll probably do that mention next week. But let's discuss. Someone comes to shul, a chronic latecomer. So, first of all, we discussed in the previous year, a chronic latecomer is basically mizalzel, is a chil Hashem, and not only that, that person, unfortunately, his tefillah is more scrutinized than versus people who will daven with a minyan. And in addition to that, those people who leave before Olein Shabbat, it's mamash mizalzel. I want to say, as we had said originally, that Olein Shabbat is not Tefillah Derech. I should really actually post, maybe on the WhatsApp, for those who are on the WhatsApp group, Allah should be to find that picture I posted on the WhatsApp group. So, in review, what we're saying is, people need to come to shul on time, to minyan, and put on that tefillin on time, the talis on time, whatever. Now I'm saying in particular order. And those who are once in a while latecomers, this is not referring to those kind of people. Although some people tend to say that, hey, you come late all the time. Once in a while, yeah, you got always gonna be on time. That's not the case. That's not always true. There are people are einzeln once in a while for different events. But a person who comes constantly late every single day is a chronic latecomer and needs to really change their mindset for the better. And I encourage everybody who is watching this video, share it with friends, share it with colleagues. If you see someone that's late, talk about it. Ask them nicely. Why you come to show late all the time? It says Shechach, and not supposed to. And Chazal talks about it as well. You can always refer to this as well. It gives another boost to be able to be able to push a share to the next level. Next week we'll discuss about the importance of davening in a basic kinesis. All right, let's go weiter, and now we'll discuss the story of the Maggid Pesach Kron. Now, last week we spoke about, of course, about Tefillah and the Seder. Now about a minyan. Now, I'm sorry, Pesach Kron. You should get the Sefer, get this book, by the way, artschool.com. Maggid of Tefillah. It's a fascinating story as I read it as we go. It's really nice. Oh, before I forget, let me mention something else, especially for the latecomers. There's always today we have different apps or different methods in which a person can always check out what minyanim, what the mini map is. There are certain places that Baruch Hashem have a minion factory every 20 minutes. Is another min. Please make sure to get in time there for brachas. That's where you're supposed to actually get there, and not by Baruch Hashem or by Hoidu. Now, a minyan of masterful men. Moshe Grosser of Brooklyn, a veteran master mechanech who now lives in Lakewood, New Jersey, often employs a story to convey a message to his talmidim. And he told this episode in the most memorable minyan that he went to. And he says the following: more than 30 years ago, Yosef Gottfarb of Yerushalayim made a Kabbalah, an undertaking that he will never miss davening with a minyan. Whether it's rain, sleet, snow, or slush, Rav Yosef was always in shul and usually one of the first 10 to arrive there. Before traveling abroad, he would check the location of the shuls in the area, and he planned his days around the times of the minyanim. This is a perfect example, by the way, for those people who need to know where the minyan factories are. Like, for example, in my neighborhood, there's a minyan every half an hour. Between it starts at 50 is brachas and 0 starts hoidu, or 20 after starts brachas and 30 is hoidu, etc. There's another place that's 30 minutes and top of the hour is brachas. Bob of Besmerish on 48th Street is I think every 50 minutes or so. So another place is Bob of 45. I think there's other places that really they have rolling minyanim. Landa shows every half an hour. There's no shortage of going to a minyan. Just you gotta come on time. Anyway, he faced occasional obstacles. A late office meeting here, a delayed flight or train there, but somehow he always managed to overcome each of them. And understandably in Yerushalayim, things were easier. With a plethora of shuls, there was always a minyan somewhere. One night, Yosef came home at 3 a.m. He still had not daven Mariv. In Ramat Shlomo, where you live, the last minyan was 11 p.m. The obvious place to find a minyan was the Zichron Moshe Shul in near Geula in Shalayim. I believe I was there a couple of years ago myself. Where in rooms throughout the building, there were always minyanim around the clock. Zichron Moshe is a minyan factory, similar to Itzkowitz in Bnei Brak, Landau's in Flatbush, or Shomer Shabbos in Borough Park. By the way, the last minyan, Marv at night, is I think somewhere around 3 a.m. also. By the time Rabbi arrived in Zichron Moshe, it was 3:15 a.m. Much to his surprise and chagrin, the building was almost empty. He had never seen it like that, nor he had never heard it so quiet. I guess 3 a.m. is late even for Zichron Moshe, Rabbi said to himself. He darted quickly around the building from one small basement to the next. He could find only one man sitting alone, said that he too had not davened Marav yet. Do you think anyone else will come here? Asked Yosef anxiously. I doubt it, came the uninteresting reply. It's kind of late, you know. It's about an hour and a half. They will start with Sikkim in. Well, I am Minyan, replied Yosef anxiously. Why? Are you saying Kaddish? The man asked, staring sympathetically at Yosef. No, Yosef said. I just have a Kabbalah that I must always daven with a Minyan. And I haven't missed a minyan in decades. What a beautiful Kabbalah to have. I wish I could do this. Not so easy. And it did not seem as if anyone else would be coming. So Rabbi Yosef called a local taxi company and asked if 8 taxis could come to Zichron Moshe Shul. Only Jewish people, he added emphatically. The dispatcher said, "Who has 8 cabs at this time of night?" "How many do you have?" Rabbi Yosef asked nervously. "Only 5, the dispatcher said. "Okay," said Rabbi Yosef, "that's fine. Tell them to all come soon," he added, "and don't forget, only Israeli drivers." He then called a second taxi company and asked that they send 3 taxis only with Israeli drivers. The dispatcher said they would be at Zichron Moshe within a few minutes. Both companies were sure there was a wedding or another simcha that ended late and the people had to get home. You can only imagine the surprise of the 8 drivers who lined up outside Zichron Moshe Shul about 10 minutes later to find that no one waiting to get in. Every driver wanted to know, Efo Chatuna? Efo Bar Mitzvah? Where's the wedding? Where's the Bar Mitzvah? What are we doing? What we're doing here? We basically gathered all the drivers and said, Rabotai, gentlemen, start your meters. Just remember, they like a taxi here in New York. There's meters, also meters. That's called the Olamonitz. And it's Yisrael. And then follow me into the shul. He explained that he needed them for minyan, and he hadn't missed a minyan in years, and that they would daven together. All the drivers could read Hebrew, of course, but not all were familiar with the protocol of davening, of Tefillah. Some had to go back to their cars for the yarmulkes. Some had to be shown where the siddur they would find for Marav, and they all managed to daven together. After Marav finished, and ecstatic, Rabbi Yosef approached the first taxi driver and took out all to pay. "Oh, no, lo. So much said Moshe, a religious man. It was an honor to pray with a holy man like you. I could not take any money from you." Rabbi Yosef approached a second driver, Arik, a secular Jew, and intended to pay him. "Oh, no. I won't take money from you. This is the first time that I prayed in a long time. It was an honor to be here. I will not take any money for this." Then went from one driver to the next. No one will take a shekel from Yosef. Each in his own way that they felt they gained more from the experience and the ingenuity than had of Yosef. One of the drivers, Benny, good naturally offered to pay Yosef for the counter and late night camaraderie. And Yosef laughed it off and take them off profusely. Chazal teach us, Baal time Messiah Isai. One who tries to become pure is sister from above in Psachas Yuma, Daf, Lamches Mabes. It is due to Abirsus Mesias Nevesh for the mitzvah of Tefillah, with the meaning that Hashem implanted in his mind this incredible method of assembling a minyan and influence all the drivers, including the secular ones, to be inspired by it. Few others will have made such a gift, and if they could come on time, wherever it is, and they would have gotten paid for it, but they didn't get paid. So much so, each one of us should make sure to get to shul on time, to be able to stand before Hashem in a timely manner, and Hashem should help. That in this chos we should all have panos gesundheit in a wonderful, wonderful evening.